like all the other beasts. Most of the men are sleeping, but a few are cleaning their blades and still discussing the night's battle. It was one of our easier nights. The attack was short-lived and the demons were few in number. Some reckon that's a sign that the Fomori are dying out and returning to the other world, but they're dreamers. This war with the demons is a long way from over. I don't need fish guts to tell me that. Fiachna is working by himself, straightening crooked swords, fixing new handles to axes, sharpening knives. We're the only clan in the Tual with a smith of its own. That was Gaul's doing when he was king. Most smiths wander from clan to clan, picking up work where they find it. Gaul figured that if we paid a smith to settle, folk from nearby Raths, Cahers and Cranogs would come to us when their weapons and tools needed repairing, rather than wait for a smith to pass by. He was right. Our Rath became an important focal point of the tour until the attacks began. The demons put paid to a lot of normal routines. Nobody travels now, unless it's to flee the Fomori. When I get a chance, I walk over to where Fiachna is hammering away at a particularly stubborn blade. I watch him silently, playing with a lock of my short red hair, smiling shyly. I like Fiachna. He's shorter than most men, and slim, which is odd for a smith, but he's very skilled, stronger than he looks. He swings heavy hammers and weapons with ease. If I could marry, I'd like to marry Fiachna, if nothing else were suited in size. Maybe it's because of the name Gaul gave me, or perhaps it's a coincidence, but I'm one of the smallest girls in the Rath. But it's not just his size. I like his kind nature and gentle face. He has a short beard, dark blonde like his hair, which doesn't hide his smile. Most of the men have beards so thick you can't see their mouths, so you never know if they're smiling or frowning. I often dream of being Fiachna's wife, bearing his young, fighting demons by his side. But it won't happen. I'm almost of marrying age. My blood came a couple of years ago, earlier than in most girls. But I can never wed. Magic and marriage don't mix. Priestesses and druids lose their power if they love. Sometimes it makes me sad, thinking about not being able to marry. I find myself wishing I could be normal, that the magic would fade from me, leaving me free to wed like other girls my age. But those are selfish thoughts, and I try hard to drive them away. My people need my magic. It's not the strongest in the world, and I'm in dire need of a teacher to direct me, but it's better than having no magician in the Rath at all. Fiachna looks up and catches me staring. He smiles, but not in a teasing way, not like Conla would smirk if he saw me looking at him. You did well with the bees last night, Fiachna says in his soft, lilting voice, more like a fairy's than a human's. I feel my face turn red. It wasn't much, I mutter, sticking my big right toe out over the lip of its sandal and stubbing the ground. You're getting stronger, Fiachna says. You'll be a powerful priestess soon. We both know that's a lie, but I love him for saying it. I give a big smile like a baby having its tummy tickled. Then Kira calls me and tells me to give her a hand dyeing wool. Do you want me to help you with the weapons? I quickly ask Fiachna, hoping for an excuse to stay with him. I can bless the blades, put magic in them, make them stronger. Fiachna shakes his head. There's no need. I'm almost finished. I'll work on farming tools in the afternoon. Oh, I try not to let my disappointment show. Well, if you need me, call. Fiachna nods. Thank you, Beck, I will. Simple words, but as I dip strands of wool in a vat full of blue dye, they ring inside my skull for ages, making me smile. In the afternoon, while the men are stirring in their sleep and the women are working on the evening meal, a lookout yells a warning. Figures to the north! The Rath comes on instant alert. Demons have never attacked this early. There's at least 2 hours of daylight left. But we've learned not to take anything for granted. Men are out of their huts and reaching for weapons within seconds. Female warriors throw away their looms, combs, tools and pots and hurry to the rampart. Those outside the Rath are summoned in. They come hastily, anxiously driving the animals ahead of them. Con emerges from his hut at the centre of the village, eyes crusty, looking less worried than anyone else. A king should never look scared. He climbs the rampart and strides to the lookout, stares off into the distance. Conla shouts at him from the ground. Demons? Doesn't look like it, Con grunts. Human in shape, but maybe they're dead. The dead often come back to haunt us. The demons get the bodies from the dolmens or wedged tombs. They use dark magic to fill the corpses with evil life, sometimes stitching bits from various victims together. We're not sure why they do it. Maybe some of them can't make bodies of their own and have to steal the bones of our dead. We've gone to all the local tombs that we know of over the last year, burning the corpses, but there are many hidden and forgotten tombs. The demons are always finding new bodies. At times, it seems like there's more dead than living in the world. Con watches for several minutes, more of the clan joining him, shading their eyes with their hands, studying the approaching shapes. I see the more hawk-eyed among them, Ronan, Lorcan, Ina, relax, and I know it's all right. But nobody said anything before Con. It's his place to give the all-clear. Finally, Con smiles. Not to worry, he says. They're human, alive. Calm settles over the raft and everyone returns to their normal routine. We're curious about the strangers, but we'll find out all about them in good time. No point standing around guessing when there's work to be done. They arrive half an hour later, ragged and weary from battle and the road. 4 men, 3 women, and 4 children. We know them, the McCadden. When the demons first attacked, Con sent an envoy to Cadden and asked if he was open to an alliance. There had been bad blood between us, but Con wanted to make peace, so we could fight the demons together. Cadden refused. He said his people could stand alone. We haven't heard from them since then. Cadden's not among the 11. The leader's an old warrior, even older than Gall, who limps awkwardly and trembles pitifully when he's not on the move. He announces himself at the gate as Tiernan McCadden and requests entrance. The 11 trudge into the raft and present themselves miserably, heads low. Con goes straight to Tiernan and clasps his arms warmly, welcoming him. He asks if they're hungry or thirsty. Tiernan says they are, and Con gives orders for a feast to be prepared. The women set to the task immediately. Con leads our guests to the area in front of his hut and lets them settle. They haven't brought much, spare clothes, a few weapons, some tools, but it's plain this is all they have. I know what's happened, just as Con and everybody else knows, but nobody says anything. We let Tiernan explain. The demons overwhelmed them. The end had been coming for a long time, but they held out stubbornly, even past the point where they knew it was folly. Their best warriors had fallen to the foul Fomori. Their children had been taken, their animals slain, their crops destroyed. Many argued against staying. Tiernan sighs. We said it was madness, that we'd perish if we didn't join forces with our neighbours. But Cadden said we'd lose face if we retreated. He was a proud man, not for bending, but eventually, like all who refused to bend, he snapped. The Fomori took him last night, along with 3 others. This morning, before the sun had risen, we packed our goods and marched here. We hope to fight with you, to offer whatever aid we can to... He trails to a halt. 2 of the men are seriously injured, and Tiernan's no chick. One of the women is a warrior, but the other 2 aren't, and the children are too young to fight. Tiernan's trying to make it sound like we need them, that they can make a difference, but really they're just looking for sanctuary. Taking them in would be a mercy, not a merger. The men of the raft are sitting in a circle around the newcomers. I'm on the outskirts, only allowed this close in case any magical matters arise. I see doubt on the faces of most. We're already cramped. We'd need to expand the fort again to comfortably hold 11 more people. That's hard to do when you're under attack from demons most nights. Tiernan senses the mood and speaks rapidly. We could build our own huts. Our women are skilled, the children too. We'd depend on your hospitality for a few weeks, but we'd work every hour we can to set up on our own. We wouldn't be a burden, and when it comes to fighting, we're stronger than we look. Even the youngest child has drawn blood. Easy, friend, Con interrupts. We're pleased you came to us when there are so many other clans you could have gone to. It's an honor to receive you. I'm sure you will be of great help. Tiernan blinks. He hadn't expected such a gracious welcome. After the years of feuding, it's more than he dared hope. Tears well in his eyes, but he shakes them away and smiles. You're a true king, he compliments Con. And I hope a true friend, Con replies. Then barks orders for beds to be made for the McCadden. Some don't like it. Conla's face is as dark as a winter cloud, but nobody's going to argue with our king.